On this week's podcast, I am talking with Karen Caig again about our Reiki Basics series. And this week, our topic is Animal Reiki. And we're going to try to answer a lot of the questions you might have about Animal Reiki. Do I need a special Reiki? Can't I just use the Reiki energy I have? What is the ICRT Animal Reiki's class all about? And so on. And we're going to leave you with a beautiful Heartbeat of the Earth meditation so that you can really experience the energy yourself. Karen, I'm so glad you're here with me, and I know you say this is your favorite.
It is. And I had a really good teacher. Yeah.
Thank you.
But yeah, Animal Reiki is my favorite to teach.
It is so wonderfully healing, and quite often we take animal Reiki because of our animals, because we're animal lovers, and some of us don't even want to take the human Reiki because we just want to get straight to the animals, and yet what surprised me the most about this course was how much it helps humans, because humans, of course, are animals. And even in taking the course and creating the course, being a creator of the course, but just being exposed to the energy and the experiences, how much I healed. So I don't know if you found that too, but
Oh, yes. And I've told students in class, I said, if you're like me, I said, I took the class because I wanted to help animals, and you get into it and you go, oh, this is the animals helping us.
yes, it flips right back on us, doesn't it? And
Yeah.
so it's the animals helping us. Guys, before we begin, I just want to let you know some of the things we have coming up on the farm. In December, I have 6 days of animal classes. I've got a level 1 and 2 class followed by an animal communicate on a Thursday, Friday. The beginning of December, I have animal communication on the weekend, and then Monday, Tuesday is Animal Reiki. And so if you really love animals and haven't begun your Reiki journey yet, sign up for all 6 days and you'll really be immersed. Or maybe you just want to pick and choose. Would love to have you join us. In January, I have a full lineup of classes in the Eastern time zone. They're all online. And in March, I will be live and in person in Australia with 5 days of the Reiki Membership Association classes, which is the Usui Level 1 and 2 and Master's class. And so for those of you who may have learned online, but I realize the Australian Reiki Association prefers in-person classes, come on and join me for those. And then I'm also going to be teaching Animal Reiki 1 and 2. So I'd love to have you join us for those. In April, the full lineup of classes again. And in May, I'll be in New York teaching Animal Reiki 1 and 2 at the Northeast Reiki Retreat. Lots of choices. Please sign up for our newsletter. There's a link in the podcast notes, and you can just have clickable links of all the classes. Karen, you've got some great stuff coming up as well.
I do. I have regular Usui, Holy Fire 1 and 2, and Master every month. And then Animal Reiki online. I teach all my classes online every month. This month, and I don't know if this podcast will be out in time, but I am teaching Animal Reiki Master on Hong Kong evening time. So you can check my
Yes.
website for that. And if you live, I have been getting a lot of students from Asia. I'm a former English as a second language teacher, and I had a woman from Korea. She stayed up all night to take Animal Reiki 1 and 2, and her English was limited. It was a little difficult, but we used through Google Translate, and then me helping her, we were able to get through class. Yeah, contact me if you would like me to offer. I do those more on demand. I get up really early and teach so that people can take them in the evening.
I love that, Karen. And I actually taught an Asian student this summer as well, and just with Google Translate. I've taught several, of course,
uh,
but with
Sorry.
their Google
Oh,
Translate.
yeah, he said
Trying,
Google Translate, and my phone said 1 moment.
yeah.
Oh, get that. Thank you, Siri.
But with the translation software, actually, the class was beautiful and was stunning. And, it took us a little longer, but it's all fine. I forgot to mention, Karen, in November, I will be doing some talks at the Equine Affair in Massachusetts and would love to have people join me there. And also in November, early November, I'll be speaking at a Brazilian Reiki conference. So if you're in Brazil, yeah, I'm looking forward. I'll be talking about the Reiki business book, and just some of the ins and outs and of having a Reiki business and why you might like to do that. So really so many great
They're all over the
opportunities. So
world.
lovely that we can be in person again now. And yeah, although some of those are online opportunities, it's so lovely we can do both, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It is. So, guys, just before we begin, one of the things I'd like to let you know about the Animal Reiki course, the ICRT Animal Reiki course, is that it has its own energy. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the history because that came as a bit of a surprise to us. And so I'd just like to invite you to close your eyes and bring your hands in Gasho and just activate your own Reiki energy. And Karen and I will send you with the distance symbol the animal Reiki energy so that you can just feel it in your space and around you as we go ahead through this podcast and talk about this podcast. And you can just get a little more familiar with it and see if it's an energy that you enjoy or maybe want to learn more about. So just breathe in the energy and feel it all around you. And I'm also going to ask the Divine Animal Kingdom to surround you as you listen to the podcast so that you can just get to know them and get to have a feel for this system. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes, but we're going to invite the energy to assist you with your perception and your listening and today so that you can feel into the energy and get a real sense of it. So to start with, I think I'd like to just start with a history, and then Karen, I'd love to get your impressions about the Animal Reiki. I'm very blessed. I got a nudge to create an Animal Reiki course in 2016 during a Holy Fire Usui Reiki Masterclass that I was taking with William Rand, the same time I got a nudge to become an ICRT licensed teacher. And while I wasn't as keen on becoming an ICRT licensed teacher, which is funny because it's one of the best things I've ever done, as soon as the energy nudged me and asked me to create an Animal Reiki course, I said yes. And I think it's the first time ever that I didn't argue with the guidance that Reiki gave me. And I just had written several articles about how we worked with Reiki and animals here on the farm. And from some of the responses that I had gotten from people, I realized, wow, I guess we have a lot more animals to work with. And I guess maybe we've taken things a little further with Reiki and animals than some people have. So it occurred to me that maybe we did need to put some of these experiences down on paper and help people understand some of the potential and what was possible with animals. Shortly after I got that nudge from the Reiki energy, though, William Rand said maybe an hour or two later in class, by the way, the ICRT is creating an Animal Reiki class, and Colleen Benelli is in charge of that. And I thought, gosh, what's the sense of me creating something then? If Colleen Benelli is going to create something, I'll just wait for what the ICRT produces, because I have just such a positive opinion of anything that the ICRT produces. It's always very professional and well done and very complete and very well researched. So I didn't see the sense of creating something myself. But something caused me to reach out to Colleen and say, by the way, would you like any help with that? And she said she would. However, she and Sue Strong had been working with the energy almost every week for quite some time, since I think 2015, when William first asked her to create the course, and the energy kept saying it wasn't ready. And that was terribly frustrating for them. They're very get it done kind of people, like I am. And so it was very frustrating. But Colleen said yes, they would like the help, but the energy was still saying it wasn't ready. So we talked instead about how I would apply for the licensed teacher program. And as I got accepted for the licensed teacher program, I was assigned Colleen as my mentor which I was just thrilled with. I would have taken any of the licensed teachers because they're all just such exceptional people. And I don't know, their vibration is just in such a beautiful place, their professionalism, everything. But when I did get Colleen, I was very excited. I knew we had a lot in common. And in fact, I felt like I hit the jackpot. I was a horse girl, she was a horse girl. We both loved animals and just had an awful lot in common. We're both very ambitious, but both very immersed in the Reiki energy and loving it. Both very earth-based, spending a lot of time outdoors and with the earth. So it was a really good fit for me. And it wasn't until January of 2019 that the energy said it was ready. So together with Robin Benelli, myself, Sue Strong, and Colleen, we met for 4 full days and just listened to the energy. And we really thought we were creating a course of here's how you use the Reiki energy you already have with animals. But what we did was we listened, and we listened to our inner perceptions of what the energy was trying to say and what the animals wanted from us. And of course, at first we started off with, here's how we help the animals, and we want to help the animals. And it wasn't very long before the animals turned the tides and said, and here's how we help you. This is going to be an exchange. This isn't you dominating or helping us. Every time you help us, we're helping you. This is a true and proper exchange of blessings between us. And one of the things that we were made aware of that needed to heal was the belief in dominion over animals. Animals showed us that and we already knew they were sentient beings with incredible intelligence, but the animals showed us how they would guide the session, and we could open our perceptions so that we could listen to them and allow them to guide what we were doing. They showed us that we needed to heal that belief in dominion over, and so that we could become part of the animal kingdom here on earth. And there were these beautiful enlightened beings known as the divine animal kingdom, the same beings that are around each and every one of you right now, who really led us. They are the ascended masters of the animal kingdom. They are the equivalent of the ascended masters, or the brothers and sisters of the light. And in fact, there are humans in the divine animal kingdom, enlightened beings, because the human is an animal. And even us, with what we thought was a fairly enlightened perspective, we kept losing track of that. And we kept saying, and the animals, and the energy would stop us and say, and the human is an animal. And so I think a couple of things surprised us about this. First of all, we realized at one point, wait, we're not working with the same energy, the same Reiki energy we started out with. This is its own frequency. And so we began feeling into that and asking questions, and we heard, yes, this was a frequency that wanted to come to the earth to heal the animals, including the human animals. And not only would it heal the animals, but it could be used for plants and rocks and trees and just everything in existence, the earth, the stars, all of it. And so it's probably been one of the most incredible experiences of my life. It took a full year of listening, because we would get information and then it would stop, and then it would start and stop. And so it was really, truly a developmental process where we had to let the energy and the divine animal kingdom lead us through it all. We could not proceed at our own pace. We had to work at the pace of the energy, and it was absolutely fascinating. And then having the opportunity to teach the class, probably, I've been asked sometimes, what's the thing that surprises me the most about this course and about this energy? And the thing that surprised me the most, and a lot of the other authors have shared that it surprised them as well, is how much we heal ourselves in the class. And it's important that we heal things like grief and shame and blame and guilt and all of those things as an animal lover that you experience in order to be a clear and proper channel for the animal Reiki energy for the animals, including the human animal. And it also surprised me that the animal Reiki began coming into my sessions with humans that I was already doing and really dramatically changed those sessions so that they became more efficient and more effective. So, Karen, that's like just a quick history on it that I wanted to share with people because it was just such a fascinating process of listening and perceiving what the animals wanted, what the energy was, what it was here for. And in addition to a different energy, the animal divine animal kingdom and the energy itself brought new techniques that really listen to the animals' wants and needs and desires and allow them to be the one that guide the session. They brought so much information, and so I just love teaching the class. Karen, why don't you tell us a little bit about the class and what you love about it?
Oh, I remember when it was coming through and I was in the program. I started, I guess, around the same time, but we kept asking, is it ready? Is it ready? Is it ready? And we
Every
look
week, is it
back.
ready yet? Is it ready yet?
Is
People.
it, and I tell my students, I said, now where we are now, I look back and I go, oh, it wasn't ready because Reiki was getting ready. We didn't know what was coming. We didn't know COVID was coming. And we had that shift in the energy where it changed to harmonize more with the technology, which would enable us to teach online. You know, and I think that it all goes together. It's really this energy. And I think of animal Reiki not just as the techniques, but I think of it as a different energy. And it's part, to me, of our evolution. And it's an interesting evolution because it's not just moving forward, it's partly going back to our animal, and this in the positive sense, to our animalistic roots of
Our nature.
being on earth, part of earth, of I think of primitive peoples and how connected they were to the earth. And a lot of what we teach, especially in the master level, is like returning to those skills that we've forgotten, are opening our awareness. And the other thing about this class that I love is that it's in that opening, it's opening up, to me, is like the most expansive. It's opening up skills I didn't know I had. It's
Right.
because it's awareness. It's there. It was lying dormant, and this energy is helping to. It's not an animal communication course.
No.
It's a separate thing, but it is helping me, I would say, open to everything, not just animals, but
To
open
the
to
earth. There's
the
a
earth. I would say it's very elemental. It really connects me to earth, to air, to water, to fire, to, I mean, like those elements of being here on earth, being human. And I think that the holy fire energy started that with our healing of our ego, not like we got to get out of here. This place is terrible. By the time we started teaching it, I really, after going through the pandemic, and I was getting to the point of what is the matter with people? What is wrong with us? And what we talk about a lot in the class is compassion fatigue. That's what has happened to us. We
yes.
are worn out from caring. And so what happens it's a form of PTSD, compassion fatigue. It's actually a clinical diagnosis. And so we are trying to heal that. And animal lovers, especially, I think, suffer because we are sensitive and we are compassionate people. And one of my favorite parts of the class is the animal grief healing meditation. And I do that actually in class a lot. If I've got students who have had an animal that they've lost recently, and sometimes it's like years and they're still torn up about it. I said,
Oh,
because
yes.
we haven't healed it. Because we were talking in the last class I had, when your mother dies or your father dies, everyone understands that. And they go, of course, that's your parent. But there's still, if you lose your dog or your cat, it's not your parent. And there's still a little bit of, I shouldn't be feeling this much grief over a dog I had for 10 years. This is silly. I shouldn't feel this. I shouldn't feel that. And so we stuff it. And of course, when we stuff those feelings, it causes problems. So I think the animal Reiki, for that alone, is worth healing those things. And also So I always did, not maybe jumping ahead about like,
Okay.
how is it different from regular Reiki? Can't I just take a class and just
And
do
yes,
Reiki
you
on
can
animals? You
use
can.
regular Reiki because that's what we did for years. That's how we
And
gained
it,
our
yeah,
experience, and that's what we thought we were creating. So you can use regular Reiki with
but
animals.
but I find that more animals are open to this particular frequency
I
and the
agree.
wild animals. So
Yeah,
the last year, I've kept close contact with the students. So what are you experiencing? And so many of them report, and I'm sure you're aware too, of like deer, they're not afraid of me. Yesterday, there was a little bird, Pam, it came this close to me. And I thought, I think I'm going to put bird seed in my hand. And I believe a bird will come and eat out of my hand.
I think they will.
It
Squirrels
does
come up
something
to
to you.
me, and I know animals just, they don't. Today I was passing a flock of pigeons, and they didn't even, I activated Animal Reiki. They didn't move.
Yeah.
And I was
It's
so close to them, and they
It's
didn't move.
crazy. Yeah,
I
the
know.
students are like, this is nuts. I'm like, I know. But maybe it shouldn't be. It really is returning us to that state of, I am part of all of this. I belong here.
One of
And
the
when
things it did for me personally, Karen, is it really made me feel part of the earth and
mm,
part of my daily life, and part of that, I didn't even realize I was separate from it because I was doing Reiki with animals. I'm an animal communicator and teaching animal communication, and animals are a huge part of my life. And so I didn't probably I was really open, and I didn't realize I was still separate from the animals. And then when that separation was healed and lifted, oh my gosh, it just made living my everyday life so much more comfortable. Being here on the earth, so comfortable. And I didn't even realize the separation existed. And probably nobody would have seen
yeah.
separation in me just because of the way we do things with the horses and so on. I didn't see it, that's for sure. And when
For
that was released, and another thing is a lot of animal lovers, including myself, can sometimes struggle with over empathy, where we take on the burdens of others and we sometimes just almost feel too much in
yeah.
situations. And I loved when there's a specific energy, there's a specific exercise in the course, and I usually do it twice on both days of the level 1 and 2 class, that heals shame, blame, guilt, grief,
Mhm.
compassion fatigue, and over empathy. And there's a whole section of the manual on that. And I have to say that when my own compassion fatigue was released, because we all get, I say, a little bit weary from the ways and worries of the world,
Yes.
and when my over empathy was healed, I've been able to be in the world in a much more comfortable and healthy way. I don't know. Did you notice anything around that?
Yes. Yeah. It's really, when you were speaking, one of my students, and I can't remember what exactly she said it now, but she said, I didn't know that I had all of that tension in there. I thought I was fine. And she said it was during that, the healing compassion fatigue experience. She
Yes.
said, during that, I realized all this that I've been carrying. And for me, it manifested as a deep grounding, which
Mm.
people who have been following me for a while, I'm pretty flighty. Um, and I really needed that. But it's that earth energy that the animals connect to. And I use this in my people sessions as well. And okay, for example, my brother, because I was doing regular sessions on him every Monday night for a long time. And I didn't tell him that I was using the animal Reiki, but we finished the session, and I do distant sessions only. We were on the phone, and I said, okay, I'm finished. How you feel? He goes, God. I said, what? He said, I feel like I can't pick my arms up off. I'm so relaxed. Wow. And I
Yeah.
said, oh, I said, well, okay, I used the animal Reiki energy on you. And he said, wow. But
Yeah.
he said he was just like, he said, I just feel like I'm just like stuck to the bed. And I'm like, good. Because that, I think that's what we need, because we're so, everything in the world right now, of course, that's why the world peace. I look back and I see, it shifted for the technology, and then it shifted into the animal, and then it shifted into the world peace. It's helping us get through this transition, I think, that we're going through. And we need to be grounded
Yeah.
to get through this and get where we're going.
I
Uh,
agree.
yeah.
That's lovely, a lovely energy for that. There was something I was going to say, but it's left me, I'm
I'm
sure.
sorry.
It was just in response to what you were saying, and I was
Is it
thinking,
about the
yeah, that's
grounding?
so true.
People relaxing?
I think so. Just that release of that tension that like your student said that I didn't even know that was there. I agree with that completely. But one of the messages that came through from the animals, each of the species had something specific to say to us about their purpose with us and why they choose to connect with us. I've always wondered that. I said from the beginning, my very first article in 2013, I think I wrote that I jump fences on my horses that are higher than the fences on our property, or I used to. And I haven't jumped for a while because I just don't want to injure my horses' joints. They're getting older. But I thought, what makes these horses stay inside these fences when they don't need me? They eat grass. There's grass all around us. They could be out of the fences all the time. And my fences are better now, but for a while, I had a friend visit once and she said, your fences are really more of a suggestion, aren't they? And I said, yeah, but my horses choose to stay home and I'm grateful. But it made me wonder what makes those horses stay with me when they could jump out easily. And sometimes the grass in our pasture is all used up. And next door, there's beautiful grass. Why do they stay? What makes the dogs stay with us? They don't need me to survive. They could be on their own. What makes the cats come in and choose to be with us? I had two cats that on a farm you can't keep cats in on a farm. Their door is open much of the time and people are coming and going, and they were tremendous hunters, which I actually appreciated them keeping the mouse population in our old farmhouse down a little bit, even though it broke my heart every time they did
Yeah.
kill a
Nature.
mouse. And I know. And yet, why did they stay with us? Why did the chickens and some of my birds that I had out there were turkeys and guinea hens that had flight? And I had wild turkeys. And why did they choose to come into the pen every night? Because they were allowed to be loose. All of my animals are allowed to be loose. I even have free range horses that mow the lawn at times. Why do they stay? And I realized we asked that question, why do our animals stay with us? And the answer is because they came here to be with us. We have soul contracts with each other. And one of the things that the animals said is, if we could but recognize our beauty. One of the things they showed us is that as humans, we so often believe ourselves to be flawed. We believe that we're in original sin, and we believe that there's something wrong with us right from the very beginning. And the animals said, you're beautiful. And if you could but recognize your beauty, you would create your life from a place of beauty. But because you believe yourselves to be destructive, that is sometimes where you create your life from. And our outer world is always going to resemble our inner. If our belief system says there's something wrong with us, we're sinners, we're flawed, then we're going to create a life that is flawed. But if we could really see ourselves, they said, if you could just see yourselves the way we see you, you would create a beautiful life for yourself. And I have to admit, more than any other energy so far, Reiki has profoundly changed my life, but the animal Reiki has really allowed me to step into a life that is beautiful and where I can recognize my beauty, and I no longer define myself as flawed and destructive. And the dogs said in particular, until you can see how amazing you are, we're gonna hold that image for you. In a piece that I channeled on what the animals want you to know, every animal said that they were in our life for a purpose. The horses, for instance, love to see us step into our power. The birds want to see us soar and become all that we can be. The cats want us to learn to rest because we're so busy. We're such busy animals, and they want us to slow down a little and enjoy life. And that's their purpose. And the dog said, until you can recognize your beauty, we'll hold that image for you, that image that your creator has of you, until you can see it yourself. And the wild animals said that They wanted us to see be fascinated with their diversity, and or the exotic animals, and the wild animals said they wanted to inspire us. And every species had something that they wanted for us. And so it really did become a true exchange, Karen, didn't it? And we may start off on this journey with the intention of helping the animals, but the animals turn around and help us right back.
Yes.
So,
And we also teach to do a session with if it's a relationship, if it's a caregiver and an animal, that a lot of times you have to do the session for both. I've done sessions
yes.
where, especially dogs, it seems you try to tap in with the dog. And so, would you like Reiki? And I get the feeling they're like, oh no, she needs it. Give it to her. She really needs it. She is so stressed. And sometimes you have to start with the caregiver, and because they're, as you said, like a soul contract, that we have relationships with our animals, and people are I'm the same way. I'll spend more money on something, on getting my cat's teeth cleaned, and probably put off my own teeth.
We all do that.
Well, exactly. And that's, as a Reiki practitioner, you may find that the caregiver is like, my dog is so stressed. Please, can you help my dog? And you get in there and you go, oh, they're just absorbing all your stress.
Well, as an animal communicator, what's really funny is that a lot of times people will book an animal communication session for their animal, and there's often a health problem or an issue that they want to get to the bottom of. And the animal shows me like that it's either sharing a health issue from the caregiver, and we say caregiver instead of owner because owner is very
Dominion
oriented, and it's really truly in our relationship with our animals, it's very much of an exchange. And the animal will often say of the caretaker that, look, it's sharing the burden of the caretaker, but the caretaker, and I used to think it was very one-sided, that the animals took on our burdens, and the animals said, no, it's the caretaker also takes on our burdens. They said it's a true and proper exchange. But one of the things the animals showed us is how quick we are to blame humans or the human. And they showed that for me. I'm very much of an animal lover. I'm animals first. And they showed me and the human is an animal. And therefore, and that was a big epiphany for me when I first got the master level energy, because I didn't really love being around humans. I felt much more comfortable being around animals. It's just I've been an animal lover all my life, and animals got me, and they didn't judge me, and I don't know, we just always got each other. And I had this epiphany after learning my Reiki masters. Wait a minute, people are animals, and I love animals, therefore I must love people. And I remember just that huge wave of love washing over me, and recognizing that I did love people. And even still, so many of us do participate in human shaming and blaming. It's all over the news, and I found that healed in this course, that I began looking at people very differently even than I was after this class. So I don't know. What are some other things about the class, Karen?
I think my cat is meowing outside. Can we
Of course.
pause for a second?
You go ahead.
I'll be right back. Talk about, there are two things that came to mind while you were talking. One is that it helps with balance of nature. Like when I said nature is so hard, but it helps me understand the cycles and relationships more.
That's true.
And then the other one I was going to say, what you were talking about, so many people say, I don't want to do people Reiki. I want to do just animal Reiki, just like what you were saying. And if you'll give me just a second, because I think that he has jumped off the porch and he's meowing at the front door.
That's fine.
I think talk about how the course is set up. And they say, well, I don't want to take Reiki 1 and 2 before animal Reiki. And it's like, there's so much. And so I explain why you have to have Reiki 1 and 2, but it gets confusing because of do you have to wait? But you could address that.
Absolutely. Let's see how I do. You go it's Simba, isn't it? That's outside.
No, it's
Sam.
He's learned to jump off the porch.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, I think I hear him out there. Meow, meow, meow.
You go grab Sam, and I'll absolutely.
Speaking of ownership, they said dogs have owners and cats have staff. I am a staff.
I had a cat once when I learned to communicate who called me his servant. And I said, I am not your servant. And he said, really? You open and close doors for me. You bring me my food. You even pick up my waste. Do you really think you're not my servant? And I said, oh, I guess you have a point. You go grab him and I'll go ahead and answer those, Karen. So yeah, actually, that was a big question. We thought that when we were putting this together, it was just going to be how to use the Reiki you already have with animals, but then we realized it was much bigger. But from the beginning, the energy, the animal Reiki energy said that a person does need to have level 1 and 2 Reiki from any lineage. It can be from any lineage before studying animal Reiki. And there were a few reasons. We didn't really understand it at first. So of course we asked the energy to explain it to us. And there were a few reasons. One reason is that you have symbols, and the animal Reiki said that it was going to blend with the human Reiki symbols we already have. But the other reason is, and we thought it was going to be a one-day course or something shorter, and it just kept evolving until there was so much to it that there's not time to explain all of the how to work with energy, anything about the Yusui symbols. There's not time to go into that. So it is really important that you have a level 1 and 2 Reiki from any lineage before you study ICRT Animal Reiki, and you'll have a better, and you can take them back to back. If you do the 6 days in December, you can do level 1 and 2 Thursday, Friday, and you can do Animal Reiki Monday, Tuesday, or even if the Animal Reiki was Saturday, Sunday. And people who've done it that way, it's worked well. I've had some students who've done that. One of the other reasons that it's really important to have a background in the human Reiki, aside from the experience and the knowledge, however, is that you're very seldom going to be working with animals who don't have caretakers. And one of the really neat aspects that came through in some of our techniques are that you can do Reiki with the animals, and you can do a combined session with the animal and the caretaker. And that's actually, in a lot of cases, that's the most helpful type of session. The animals quite often bring their caretakers to the session because they want them to get Reiki and they want them to get help, because of course we share each other's burdens, and the animal wants them to get help because they care about the caretaker. And incidentally, now my sessions are usually a combination of animal communication, animal Reiki, and human Reiki, because almost always the animal wants a combined session. And I'm very fortunate that the humans that reach out to me are almost always happy for that. They say, do you charge more? I'm like, no, it's the same cost. It's taking me the same amount of time. And you can have all three in one session if you want. But when a caretaker would come and the animal would say, we're sharing a burden, which often, not all the time, but often enough, that turned up in a session and you'll probably notice that if you have digestive issues, your animal might have digestive issues and so on. And so people would say, please tell my animal to stop taking on my issues or my symptoms. And I would never, ever get an animal who would say, okay. They all said no. If she or he wants me to stop having this issue, I need them to look after themselves. I am not going to stop sharing the burden. We have a soul contract to go through this life together. That's why I don't jump the fence. That's why I come in at night or come in after I'm done getting my fresh air for cats and dogs and chickens and turkeys and guinea hens and so on, is that we have this contract to be together. So anyway, hopefully that answers that. And about the structure, and then a lot of people think, wait now, I've taken Animal Reiki level 1 and 2, because with our human courses in our lineage, you take level 1 and 2 Reiki and you wait at least 6 months before taking masters. People think that applies for Animal Reiki as well, but it doesn't. If you're already at the master level, you can actually take 5 days of Animal Reiki right in a row and do your level 1 and 2 and masters all at the same time if you wish. And again, that's a masters from any lineage. So you don't have to have studied with Holy Fire. You don't get Holy Fire when you take Animal Reiki. You get the Animal Reiki energy and symbol. And that energy and symbol was inspired by Holy Fire, and the Holy Fire helped us understand it and develop it. But it is its own. Holy Fire is its own energy. If you want to get Holy Fire, you need to take a Holy Fire class. But the Holy Fire did bring in this energy. So the way it works is, if you're level 1 and 2 from any lineage, you can take level 1 and 2 Animal Reiki. If you already have a master's and you've taken ICRT Animal Reiki, level 1 and 2, you can go ahead and do the master's class. There's not really a waiting period between the courses. Was that clear, Karen, or was that
I think so. And I do encourage many of my students who they take Reiki 1 and 2. Not everyone is called to do Reiki Master even, but some people, they finish Reiki 2 and they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, and I can't wait to take Reiki Master. And I tell them they could conceivably just go the very next day and take Animal Reiki 1 and 2 if they wanted to. But
yes,
I'll usually will encourage them, like, play with this energy. You have to wait 6 months
before the master.
Work with the energy before you can take Master. So in between, while you're waiting and experimenting, take Animal Reiki, because that opens up another dimension of
I'm not doing well with my
it gives another frequency for you to work with.
It does. And that's a really great thing to do while you're waiting for your master's. And a lot of people don't understand why they need to wait 6 months before the master's. But really, you can tell if a student hasn't been at least 6 months with level 1 and 2, they're usually not ready for the shift that the master class brings, because it's a big shift. And so you're right. Animal Reiki 1 and 2, as you're waiting, is a great way to continue to evolve and develop with Reiki. You had some other things, Karen, that you suggested, and I got caught on explaining the classes, and I can't recall.
It was that just how it flows and how it's structured. It's structured like our Holy Fire classes. We have right off the bat, there's the Garden of Forgiveness in Animal Reiki 1 and 2, or in Animal Reiki 1. Part of the class is like healing and clearing and working through issues of grief, compassion, fatigue, imbalanced empathy, all of these things that you really need to heal. And then getting the Animal Reiki energy, developing different skills to work with animals. We really emphasize in Animal 1 and 2 the 3 priorities of Animal Reiki, which are
safety, consent, and observation.
Yeah.
Thank you. I should know that. I know how many times have I written that.
So one of the big differences, especially for Reiki masters who come in and start the Animal Reiki, I was really accustomed to especially doing distance sessions. I was accustomed to doing Reiki with my eyes closed, and I was really tuning into things and picking up stuff that I hadn't, developing that third eye and more. And then Animal Reiki, keep your eyes open.
Yeah,
that's an adjustment for some people.
And you might be doing sessions in very busy environments, and you have to be able to get into that focused Reiki space even when there's lots going on around you.
Yes, and even distance sessions, which I really prefer for the animals because they're in their own home.
They like them too.
And I'm observing the animal to see, or when the caregiver sometimes has to help, because we let them. It's Reiki in motion. The animals get to move around. We don't.
And they get to guide the session. Like, we're not deciding what they receive, they decide. And we listen to them. And so that's
part of the listening is looking, observing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that it really, even if you're not going to practice Animal Reiki, I think everyone should take Animal Reiki. I said it's my favorite class, but just for the skills that it helps you develop. Like you said, people are animals too. I can take the skills that I'm teaching in Animal Reiki and apply them to an office.
Yes.
And your ability to be aware of things that are happening and reading people. And it's just, so I'm maybe a little biased, but I think it's the best class that we offer at the ICRT. Really, the 2 best classes. Seriously, it helps you in so many areas of your life. Healing, and how you move in the world and how you get through life. For me, it was just radically changing, life changing for me.
It really was for me too, and just I love it. And I'm just trying to think if there was any things that we didn't answer. Is there anything else about the class that you can
Um,
think of that people might like to know? Oh, you said about the animals liking the energy. And I noticed when I used Usui Reiki with animals, there was a very small percentage of animals who were a bit sensitive to it. And they didn't always love it. And though even those animals are like, bring it on with animal Reiki. Yes, we very seldom. I used to get no once in a while because of course you always ask the animal for their consent,
mhm.
and you also don't work on an animal without their caregiver's consent, and that's one of the three
The
priorities
consent.
that Karen
Mhm.
was telling us about, and keeping safety in mind. And in order to keep safety, it's observation. And so we really work to try to heighten your connection with your inner awareness so that you can hear it and listen to it better and sense it, and with your senses to expand them. And then there's those other techniques that we use with animal Reiki. But even those animals that were a little too sensitive for the Usui Reiki are usually very open to the animal Reiki, I found. And
I think my students say that their favorite part of class is when we do the live cams
oh
because,
yeah.
so we use, oh, I love the one until they hibernate. They're about to hibernate, but there's a wildlife camera in Alaska that's focused right on this little waterfall, and all the bears are there catching salmon. And
Wow.
it's the Katmai, Katmai, Katmai. Anyway, but it's amazing how sometimes they're just sitting there in the water and they're watching, but they'll start, someone will say, well, I'm focused on this bear. And they'll say, oh, I feel it. Okay. I feel like it's okay. And I'm feeling it pulling from my hands. And then you'll see the bear one time, because I don't have a life. This is what I do for fun. I know. Let's go give Reiki to some penguins at the San Diego Zoo just for fun. But anyway, during class, you'll feel it in your hands, and then you'll see the bear go. Bears are notorious. It's like they're sniffing, like, what is, they feel it. And then it's like they're trying to pick up, like, what. And one time I had a bear just turn around and look what the camera.
I've had
Like,
that
is
happen.
that
I
you? It's like,
remember in
okay.
one class, an eagle came over and looked in the camera like, what is that I'm feeling?
Yeah. So that's usually their favorite part of class. And we just go to the different live camps until we find somebody like, hey, I've had chickens do that at that, what is it, Flying Skunk Farm. The chickens,
Really?
oh, and then they come up and they'll just go in the
It's
so
so neat, isn't it? Wait, what am I feeling? They
uh,
give the
so it's
consent, but then they really seem to like the energy or
yeah,
the
it's
freak.
amazing. And when I took your class, you put us into breakout sessions,
Yep.
and my partner was on a farm, and she just carried her laptop out, and I was sending. There were some ducks, and then this goat came up, and then he just stopped,
Yep.
just right in front of the camera. And I thought, oh, he's taking it too.
Yep.
And it works so quickly. And then you feel,
So,
what's so weird to me with the animal reiki is I feel it in my hands.
yeah.
And then as soon as I feel it like to diminish, then the animal, it's almost okay, thanks. And then they just move on. And
They
it's
do.
just bizarre.
They really do. It doesn't take anywhere near as long. It's not uncommon for a session to only be 10 minutes. And yet, but you let the animal decide, and they'll let you know when they're
Yeah.
done. But one of my favorite things to do is just create a Reiki bubble and see if animals come in it. And some don't. Some ignore it and they're like, yeah, no, I'm busy today. But a lot of animals will come over into the bubble.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
we
I
give
did
them
that.
enough room that they can say no if they want, or you always ask the consent. But
Right.
if you're in a space with a lot of animals, it's okay to make a bubble and just allow them to come into it if they wish, and not if they don't wish, as long as the caretaker is all right with that. But oh, it's just a fantastic energy, isn't it, Karen?
It really is. So that has helped my evolution too, in like truly understanding energy. That when we started teaching online, that helped. I went like, okay, yeah, this is amazing. There really truly is no such thing as distance in time or space. And then
Mm.
the animals, because I'm not brainwashing them or anything. It's really validating to me that I can see how they respond, and I'm not even there. And somehow they understand it's coming like from that camera. Or yeah, it's just bizarre.
Oh, I know. And sometimes they will look right at the camera, and quite often, and it's too obvious to miss. Yeah, I just
So
love it.
that's helped me understand that even more deeply how truly interconnected we all are on this whole earth.
Oh, we are. And it's interesting because you talked about connecting with our human nature. And I didn't realize I had any hangups about that until at the master level, we really work on the inner awareness and skill building with just learning how to sense things in the same way that animals do, and just reactivating that within us, that sensitivity, that heightened sensitivity, to help us with our observations. And I can remember that at the Animal Reiki master level, it's really connecting with your human nature, and I had a hard time with that at first. And I remember saying to Colleen, when the words came through for the ignition, I was like, wow, I didn't realize I still had some resistance to being human. And I didn't realize it at all, but it showed up. And then once that settled in, I don't know, it brought so much beauty, and I must say it brought abundance to my life. So much of the abundance that I've been experiencing, I feel, has been from Animal Reiki. And what the earth has shown me is that there's enough. There's no
I'm
need
glad
for
you brought that up.
competition or scarcity. There's enough for everyone. And look at how the wild animals, and that's one of the things the wild animals said. We know that the earth is abundant enough for us and that we don't need to work all of the time, and that there's enough. And could you imagine if you could put that amount of trust in your life that you will always have enough? How would that change things for you?
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
It has changed. That's a big part of the change. I'm glad you brought
Yeah.
that up. I think that groundedness and the sense of calm I have is tied to that, working on that scarcity mentality and trust. And
Mm.
yeah, the earth,
It
there's everything we
provides.
need.
It has everything we need. I can grow enough in a little plot of land out there to really feed us for a little while.
And
My
I bet if
father used to do it.
we just forgot, I'm really interested in foraging because I live in the wilds of Arkansas, and I do know some plants that you can eat.
Yeah.
And I was looking around, like during the Great Depression, when
Oh
my
gosh.
grandparents were growing up, they went out and they just stuff grows wild that we can eat. That's
Yeah.
nutritious. But that's coming back to the fact that we are animals in this. We are part of this earth, and we were designed. I'm not talking about our spirit or our soul. I'm talking about our bodies. We are designed to live here,
Yeah.
just like the animals, and we just have to come back into alignment with that. And that's the gift of Animal Reiki to me, is coming back into alignment with that.
I love that, Karen, and I love that word alignment. I feel that the Animal Reiki really does bring us into a powerful alignment with the earth and with our life. With that in mind, what about if I lead our
Yeah,
listeners
I think
in the
that'd be
Heartbeat of the Earth
perfect.
meditation? Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, guys, this is the Heartbeat of the Earth meditation from our Animal Reiki. I invite you to close your eyes and take some deep breaths, and place your hands on your heart, feeling your Reiki energy, including the Animal Reiki energy, flowing through your hands and into your heart. And the light of Reiki and the light of the earth and the light of the divine beings and the light of creation surrounds you. And it fills your breath. And as you breathe in the light, it travels in on your breath and fills your body with light, causing the light within you to wake up and be revealed in you. You remember your love, your higher consciousness, and your pure heart. You can see them now. And the light of the earth is revealed in you as you remember that your body is made of the earth to give your spirit life and breath. And the light of the divine is revealed in you as you remember that your spirit is made of the light of the divine. But you are here in your life to be human. The light of creation and the light of your body are one light within you. Your divine nature is present in your human nature, and you remember your beautiful spirit, your life force. It is here in your body and in your life in this moment in time. Listen now to the heartbeat of the earth and the heartbeat of the waters and all life in the waters. You can hear the heartbeat of the animals and the trees and the birds in the trees. You can hear the heartbeat of creation in the four winds and in the cycles and rhythm of the moon and the sun and the rhythm of the stars in the night sky, the planets and our solar system, and the heartbeat of the Milky Way, the galaxies and the universe, the heartbeat of creation. They all beat in the same rhythm as your own heart. Feel your body align with the heartbeat and the rhythms and the cycles of the earth. And the heartbeat and rhythm and cycles of creation. One heartbeat, one light, one breath. Right now, in this moment in time in your daily life. Power of love at the core of the physical world, the light of pure consciousness becoming all things. You bring this awareness now into your body that you are like all life on earth, part of the animal kingdom. Everything here lives in the rhythms and the cycles of this beautiful creation, the earth. So bring your awareness to your body now and listen. Hear your heart beating in your body, in your life today, in the same rhythm as the heartbeat of the earth and all of creation. And let's breathe into this moment. Feeling the alignment with the heartbeat of the earth. When you feel ready to come back into the room, slowly open your eyes, bringing your awareness to your heartbeat, like the heartbeat of the animals and all life on earth. We are all one. Namaste. Karen, I just want to thank you for being here with us to talk about Animal Reiki this week, and I'd like to thank the listeners. If you'd like to learn more, feel free to reach out to Karen or I. Our contact information is on the website, and we're both offering classes online and some classes in person as well. Next summer I'll be offering a whale class in Campobello in July, August, and September, level 1 and 2, and in September I'll also offer a master class where we can go out and see the whales. In fact, we often see the whales from the living room window. They tend to join class. Please join us if you enjoy this energy, if you'd like to evolve in your Reiki. And thank you so much for the beautiful light that you're spreading on the earth today, and the animals. Thank you as well. Did you want to say anything, Karen?
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for being a part of bringing this energy through. I appreciate you so much.
Bless you. Thank you. Namaste, everyone. See you next week.